Hello everyone, my name is Aleksandra Popova. I'm a legal consultant in international law firm D'Andrea Partners Legal Counsel. So in today's video, I will introduce you a few aspects about the e-commerce market in Russia. First of all, let me share with you my presentation.
So first of all, I just would like to tell a few words about our law firm. D'Andrea Partners Legal Counsel was established in 2013 by Carlo D'Andrea and Matteo Hambenji. And today our law firm includes a wide range of legal professions from all over the world. We have offices in countries around Asia and Europe as well. We have Russia desk. Our firm provides quite a wide range of services in such areas as corporate and commercial law, labor law. We also provide services of legal compliance, of assistance in FDI and ODI, and dispute resolution. As already told, our office can be found around Asia and Europe, in our headquarters located in Shanghai. Then we also have offices in Nanjing and Chongqing in China, in Pescara and Milan in Italy, in Pune in India, in Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam, and in Dubai in United Arab Emirates. So going to the topic of the video, an introduction to the e-commerce sectors of Russia. So I would speak about the overall market overview. Then I would also tell you a bit about the e-commerce models that basically we have in Russia. Then I would also tell you how to start an e-commerce business and speak about the different regulations that are most relevant for the e-commerce operators, such as data protection, consumer protection, and advertisement regulations. When we speak about the Russian e-commerce market, we need to understand that currently it ranked as 9th e-commerce market in the world. It was in 2019 with a value of 30 billion US dollars. And it still continued to grow. According to statistics of 2019, it grew by 21% compared to 2018. And according to the specialist, it will grow by 60% in the period of 2020-2023. I would also like to point out that the internet rate of internet penetration in Russia is quite high. So currently it's a rate as 81%. And as we know, the habits of the consumer, so all these people that actually use the internet, how frequently they buy products online, the number of these consumers are not really high. So it's really a way to go for the market, for the e-commerce market to grow, to involve those internet users, to involve them in the e-commerce market. So, for the foreign investors that are considering to invest in e-commerce market in Russia, the restrictions for them are quite low comparing to other countries. And if as the foreign investor you would consider, so what region is better to develop, we would need to understand that 41% of all purchase orders are made by the users in the central region of Russia, and 51% is the Volga Federal District. Here I point out to you a few cities that are related to these districts and regions. So what are actually the products that what are the shares of the various segments in e-commerce retail in Russia? So the most popular is actually apparel, accessories, and footwear. Then it's followed by electronic and appliances, and then by the multi-category stores. All other is not so developed according to the data by 2019. And in Russia, we basically have four main models of e-commerce. It's a model business to consumer, business to business, consumer to consumer, and business to government. So for the foreign investors, it's better to consider the first three, because the last one is not as open for the foreign investor as three others. In the most developed is actually business to consumer, so it's B2C model, where the business sell products to the consumer. Here, the most popular platforms are Wildberries, Ozon, and Yandex Market. Then it's followed by the less developed business model as B2B, where the business provides services to another business. And here it may vary by the services such as logistical services, agricultural products, etc. The most developed e-commerce platforms here is Agora, Compo, B2B Motion. I would need to tell that actually within this business Within this model of e-commerce market, these platforms are mostly focused on one type of services, one type of the sector. So it's really a way to go for the e-commerce platforms in this specific sector. Then less developed is the C2C model, where consumers sell the products or the services to another consumer, and the most popular e-commerce platforms here is Contact and Avito and Eula. And then followed by the business to government model, B2G, which is actually not as open as the others for the foreign investors. So we already spoke about the e-commerce models of e-commerce in Russia. So how to start an e-commerce business? First of all, you will need to choose between these three actually e-commerce models. Then you would need to build an e-commerce website. After this, you would need to register a domain and a trademark for the website in Russia. And if you are not really willing to sublease or to involve the subsidiaries to make your e-commerce platform operatable, you also will need to establish a presence. And the most popular form of it is the private limited company. Then, no matter whether you decide to establish an e-commerce platform from abroad and do the cross-border e-commerce, or if you would establish presence in Russia, you would need to obtain a tax registration, because you would gain the income from the activities that would actually be happening in Russia according to the law. Then you would also need to open a bank account and set up a gateway. So moving to the main regulations that are covering the activities of e-commerce market in Russia, one of the, I think the most important is the data protection regulations. So since 2015, all the data operators, including the e-commerce platforms, they would need to initially store data, the personal data, on the servers located in Russia. And only after they would need to retrieve this information from Russia to their own country where they're based. Along with this, all the data operators, so e-commerce platform, would need to notify the Roskomnadzor that it would actually obtain the personal data of Russian citizens, and it would need to do this before to start the operations. And also, similar to other countries, the e-commerce platform would need to establish the policy to appoint a data protection officer to adopt a privacy data protection policy, implement relevant security measures. It would also need to put all relevant policy online, to do all the forms online that the consumer, that the user can actually willingly agree to for the data processing, for the processing of his personal data. Then when we're talking about the consumer and consumer protection in Russia, e-commerce platforms, they will need to understand that the e-commerce platform and the shops shall provide the address, the price of the products, the payment details, the info pertaining to the period in which the offers are valid. Also, the seller shall provide a clear and accurate information on its name and address and product specification, the return policy and warranty card, terms and conditions for the effective and safe use. The warranty card, as you can see, if this information is not provided, then the period in which the consumer can return the products and request the refund of the payment will be extended to the 90 days. And the usual period in which the consumer can return the products is at any time before the delivery, and it's 7 days after the delivery. For the technically complex or expensive products, such term may be extended to 15 days. And the seller would need to refund the money that they received for the products within 10 days from the date when the withdrawal request. The vendor has the right to retain the shipping costs, that would need to say. And in case of infringement, the buyer can file a complaint to Roskomnadzor, who is basically the authority that is following the control of the protection of consumer rights in Russia. And this Rospatriapinazole can impose a fine that may vary from 67 to 135 US dollars on a seller and e-commerce platform. Depends who provided the wrong information, whether it was the seller, the shop itself, or whether it was e-commerce platform that unilaterally amended the information on a website about the shop and the products. And if the seller or the e-commerce platform would not do the refund, would not give back the money, the payment that was made, the consumer also can file claims for the compensation of material and moral damage to the court. In 2015, I would need to say that the Rospatriapinazole, they were considering to put such administrative punishment as the ban of the website. But till this date, even if the infringement of consumer rights was there, the authority cannot ban your website. However, it's not really similar for the advertisement regulations. So according to the advertisement regulations, e-commerce platform cannot advertise certain products in a certain way. So what are the restrictions? They cannot use the inappropriate, inaccurate comparison of the advertised products with the goods of other manufacturers or sellers. So here is a similar that you cannot put on a website information that your product is the best, the first, the number one, without any reference on the source, which actually would say make such reference for your products. You also cannot use inaccurate information on advantages or disadvantages of your products comparing to the other products of other manufacturers, and you cannot provide inaccurate information on nature, composition, method, date of manufacture, purpose, and other points of your products. So along with these, for the certain products, regulations restrict the advertisement on the internet. Among one of them is tobacco and tobacco-based products. And in case in which the e-commerce platform would infringe these regulations, the Roskomnadzor can block the website of the e-commerce platform. Here, it's really important for the platforms that operate from abroad, like for example, for the manufacturers that just open an independent website and sell their own products online to the consumers. So they would need to understand that if the website is in Russian and targeted Russian consumer, they would also follow on this under these regulations, and the website also may be blocked in Russia if they would not follow them. So at this point, I would like to say thank you for your attention.
In case you have any further questions with regard to regulation of the e-commerce market in Russia, you can leave them below in the comments or send us directly to the email address that you can find in the description to this video. For those who are really interested in e-commerce market, we also would like to share the news that soon we will publish our guide on e-commerce market in China. So follow us on our social networks and keep yourself updated. Thank you for your attention and have a good day.